This week's lecture looked at graphics and in particular the browser colours, image resolution, bit depth and palettes, and the principles, terminology, compression file formats that graphics can be used in. Colour is seen as the most powerful element as it is what the users see first. There are additive and subtractive colour models. Additive colour is known as RGB and is when blue, red and green are added together to produce other colours, and these are known as the colours on the web. Subtractive colour model is known as CMYK and is colours that is used in printing. There is a wider variety of colours that can be used on screen than can be used in printing. This needs to be considered when creating the artifact, as there is a section of the artifact that requires printing, then colours would be needed to be set to RGB. Browsers have a web-safe palette which consists of 216 colours that are made of hex numbers. If the creator of the graphic uses a colour that cannot be found by the browser, one of two things will happen. The browser will use the nearest known colour, or it will use a technique known as dithering. Dithering is a technique where the computer alternates the colours to fool the eyes into perceiving a third colour. Colour rendering may result in colours looking differently even if the same hex code is being used, as different monitors will have different effects on the way that the colour is presented. A gamma of a system can also have an effect. Gamma refers to the lightness or darkness that the system will display. The lower the gamma, the brighter the colours. On PC, the gamma is darker, so it's probably best to design it on a PC, and then if the user has a Mac, then it will look brighter on the Mac. It's also important not to overuse the graphics, as they can slow how fast the computer will load, and that may result in the user becoming disinterested. There are lots of different file formats that can be used. Vectors are quite small and they use equations rather than pixels. They're quite small only if they are being created. However, if there was a photograph that was to be saved as a vector, it would take up a lot of space. Bitmaps are stored as pixels and are read horizontally. GIFs are 8-bit colours and are lossless images because they don't lose any quality. GIFs are usually quite small in size. They do have a limited range of colours, so that would mean it wouldn't really be suitable for a photograph that contains a lot of colours. JPEG has a wider range of colours, but that uses a lossy compression. That means that some of the data might be lost, but the compression's got up to a good standard these days, where lossy compression doesn't seem to affect the images as much. With the JPEG, the file size is a little bit bigger than a GIF, but because it has more colour possibilities, then that is the reason why I've decided to use JPEGs in my artifact.